Hi, this is Mike Desmond from CDI. I'm a senior ITOM architect on the ServiceNow platform. I am joined by Robert Augusta from the IT transformation practice of Commercial East and Alex Brayman of ServiceNow in the IT transformation practice as a solution architect. And we're here to talk to you about delivering proactive digital operations.
Thanks, Mike. So before we hand it over to Alex to take you through the experience, I just want to highlight this slide. We believe between CDI and ServiceNow that the CMDB is the digital foundation that drives business outcomes. As you can see, there are a number of different outcomes that we can tackle and work with you and your teams on, whether that be within IT service management around increasing efficiency and reducing risk when planning changes, around IT asset management, and gaining visibility of your software and your hardware across your operational estate. Today's session is going to be focused, and what Alex is going to cover is going to be focused around IT operations management and how we're going to prioritize, respond, and help you respond based on the business impact. Looking forward to it. Alex, please take it away.
All right. So thank you very much, Mike. I wanted to jump into the demonstration today and talk about, first off, the importance behind the CMDB. Because for the primary reason for us to be proactive versus reactive, we have to first understand how these services and applications are provided and structured. So being able to understand how these different services are being provided, what is the mean time to resolve? What are our customer satisfaction scores, cost impact, and who is working on the different resolutions? Well, the first thing is being able to eliminate the wave of noise from the different events and the alerts that come in. So as we can see here, everything is green. So this means that things are operating, things are running correctly. We're starting to see that we have the visibility into these different groups of services and applications based off of their criticality, severity, location. And all of this is real time. Another benefit is being able to start to see the historical alerts and changes on the service map, because these can be utilized for understanding, well, what change occurred that led to this service being out, as well as being able to look back to see when alerts, when events came in on each individual component. So we could even go ahead and do a comparison from points and times to understand, well, when it was running fine, when it had some issues, when the service was degraded, and when it was working perfectly again. Now, through this demonstration today, we're going to start to see how it's going to simulate different events and alerts coming in to generate and start to show us those different impacts so that we can move into that proactive versus reactive aspect. Now, as you're seeing here, this dashboard, we just noticed that there are different events and alerts coming in on some of these different statuses for order status, delivery processing, rewards processing. And with each time there are new alerts coming in, it allows me to go right in to start to see what is occurring in real time so that I can start to see the details, all of the related alerts on the service map, how they're correlated, and being able to see the breakdown as well as potential and suggested remediations. Now, this is the main aspect where lots of operations teams are overwhelmed by the different events, the alerts coming in. They're coming in from numerous different sources. So when we look back and we can see all of these different alerts coming in from SolarWinds, vRealize, Dynatrace, it's automatically correlating and grouping these all together so that we can start to see when I pull up this from the operator workspace, jumping into the primary alerts, it's going to group and show me on this why it was grouped together, how it was grouped together, what pattern occurred, so that we can start to get directly into that root cause and understand how we can quickly prevent an outage instead of having to react when one occurs. So as I go into the details, we can start to see that this group of alerts was matching a previously identified pattern. So it went ahead and it started to group all these alerts together. That's the first step behind being able to take all the different events, all the alerts from any of the different sources, group them together so that we can then be able to know exactly where to deal with. And in this case, specifically, the major critical urgent alert is related to disk space available has fallen below a threshold. We can quickly and easily either look up some of the different knowledge base articles, see what are the suggested remediations, or quickly run predefined actions that we have already available. So if I notice this on these different details from the operator workspace and determine that, yeah, we do need to expand the disk space to prevent this service or these impacted services from failing or going down. That's exactly where the proactive aspect comes into play, because we were able to start to see those events, those alerts, correlate them back using the CMDB, understanding what it connects to, where it connects, so that I could see that topology and go right up to today and say, well, on today, what happened? I can see those different changes, all the alerts, what they relate to, and they're automatically going to be correlated. So we can use the correlation to start to group this and understand when we go through to remediate and run that remediation, expand the disk space, it will be able to execute successfully and we'll have visibility into the automatic change creation that occurred. Being able to see directly that on that alert, we were able to go through and start to visualize, well, yep, we executed a change. We were able to expand the disk space and bring that back to running process. These remediations, based off of these different alerts and correlations, are all dependent off of the CMDB. Understanding how they're connected, who manages it, what is its critical, what is its severity, what is its priority, and as well as what are the different things that we took action on. So in this case, we even went ahead and created an incident based off of this urgent critical severity alert that came in on a priority 1 business service. Now, moving from here into cloud management is one of the important parts, because lots of our customers have a hybrid environment, or you might have your multiple different applications, business services on-prem, but what are you using in the cloud? That's where we can connect directly to Cloud Admin Portal. So looking at those cloud accounts, the cloud providers, what are the resources within each one of them? What are the service accounts that they're using? What are all of the virtual components that are living within each one of these data centers? When was the last time we discovered it? What are the capacity limits and the quotas? So that I can go in and use this existing information to start to set up and design our cloud catalog items. What do I want to have available for people to be able to request when it comes to cloud resources, whether it be AWS, Azure, VMware, Google Cloud? I might need to come in and request something as simple as a Windows 2012 R2 or an Ubuntu server or an ARM template. And how is this going to be spun up and provisioned if somebody needed it? So this is where you can set that governance, because we're connecting directly back into AWS, Azure, VMware. We can start to pull those different images, start to see that insight, be able to build these cloud catalog items based off of what it already exists so that we can set up those different rules, lifecycle operations, and be able to manage these as we start to go through for policies, quota, budget, permissions, as well as be able to see when somebody requests something, I want to have visibility into, was it spun up correctly? What were the different ways that people have gone in, and what have they been requesting, as well as what are we using across our different cloud providers. So within each data center, what is being leveraged? Where do I have most of my virtual machines, storage volumes? Being able to have just that basic level of visibility, because that plays directly into cloud billing. Understanding what did we use and why did we have such a high level of compute under this category, and well, what was it tied back to? So it looks like it was from our Azure team in our West US data center group. But this is the insight, the most important part, because with this level of detail and understanding what those cloud resources are connected to, what they're provided to, if it's prod, non-prod, if it's sandbox, dev, I can now jump right into it and understand that and provide a portal for people that need to request. And per se, I need to launch some of these virtual machines. I now have this full catalog to go through and follow through all of those different quotas, permissions, resource groups, so that at any point in time, I can know when I'm going outside of quota or what my groups are using. And all of these different variables can be dependent right off of your different cloud accounts, those variables and that information that we're already pulling. This also means that any of those end users can start to monitor and see what are my different cloud requests. What is my team using? When was the last thing that I spun up? Did it spin up correctly? Here are all of those different components, and they tie directly into the CMDB as well. Like I mentioned, just in case that we have some of these virtual machines, storage databases, this could connect directly back to a critical business service. So I want to see if there are any change requests, any incidents, any cloud events, or if I need to make a change to this, deprovision, stop. Or on some of the virtual machines, I might even be able to expand or change some of the resource values related to CPU or storage capabilities. This level of visibility is what we're overall providing at ServiceNow to give you that breakdown across all of your on-prem, anything in the cloud, how it's being used, what's going on with it, and allowing you to start to set governance around it. All right, I'm going to hand this back to Mike to wrap up.
Thanks, Alex. As you can see today, what Alex has just shared is how we're using insights and automation to predict issues, reduce user impact, and streamline resolutions for both yourself and your customers. Please join us in the breakout session and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Looking forward to speaking with you. Thank you.